Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state. Listeners, welcome back. Another episode of Innovation Unplugged. This is episode number 72. I'm Houston Blackwood, Workforce Director for the Innovation Center, and on my left in studio, Ms. Kailah Dozier, our Director of Marketing and Corporate Partnerships. And then today, our very special guest is Rashaun Walker from Dothan, Alabama. He's working with J&B Custom Carpentry and just got that job, and we're going to talk all about how that came to be. But we're so excited to have you on today, Rashaun.
Yes, sir.
This is something we set out. Yeah, good. We've set out to do this in January when we recorded episode 50. We're going to tell some real stories, and so
That's right.
Watching this whole thing come down. So we're excited to capture that, man. So give us a rundown of who you are, where you're from, and how you got to this spot right here.
All right. Okay. Well, my name is Rashaun Walker. I'm 39 years old. I was born and raised in Dothan, Alabama. I started out, I've been driving trucks for the past 5 years. And that's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Working mostly in transport. I started off in retail, delivering sodas and whatnot and milk. And then I went into just going back and forth, pretty much shoulder runs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm always been a nighttime driver for the most part, so I'm usually running at night. I have a son he's always with me, and I was always just trying to find something in the daytime to where I could give him a little bit more freedom while he's growing up. You know what I mean? So he wouldn't be so secluded at the house because I'm always gone in the afternoons.
Yeah.
And he does a good job at staying home. So I wanted to give him a break. Yeah.
How old is he?
So, he's 15, boss
Okay.
man. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going into the 10th grade, so I'm trying to let him have these last few years in high school to more to himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My
Yes,
my
sir.
my son's
Uh,
also he'll be 16 next week, but he's going into his
Awesome.
sophomore year too. So I feel you about that
Yeah.
raising
Yeah, I'm
boys.
trying to,
Yeah.
I want to let him grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So
hmm
so you did some driving and nighttime. You wanted something so you could let the family dynamic roll out. So awesome. I think you found it. You found an opportunity, and we talked
Yeah.
yesterday in our conversation, and you talked about doors opening and whatnot. So take us from there. So once you said, I need something different, then you found what?
All right. Okay. All right. So, just looking online, honestly, and Facebook was the platform. I remember seeing, because I follow Wallace. And I remember seeing the link go across the page about heavy equipment, and I was quite interested in that. So I saw that some months back, and I was like, I wonder if I could do that. You know what I mean? But I was still driving at the time as well, so I was like, well, I don't have time to go to class.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So one day I decided to, sign up for it, and I was like, let me just see what happens. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And so I went down the list actually, and I signed up for all of them. You know what I mean? And then when I realized that you had to do videos and the test and everything, I said, well, I got to narrow this down.
That's
You know,
funny.
Yes.
so I made a call. I actually made a call to the school, and I spoke with I believe Miss Dunlap, and I
Yeah.
asked her about the heavy equipment class. And me
Mhm.
being from Dothan, she told me that that class wasn't starting until the following month, and it was also in Eufaula, so that was a bit of a drive for me,
Yeah.
at the same time. So I was like, all right, well, it's kind of out the way. I said, well, do you
Mhm.
have anything for Dothan? And she said, well, I have this electrical helper class coming up soon. And the good thing about this one is there's also a job fair that we're doing at the end of that. Do you think that would be something you'd be interested in? So I said, a job fair, huh? Like this
Yes.
could be my break. I was like,
Absolutely.
so a light bulb went off, and I was like, Yeah, I'm gonna sign up for that. And electrical was my last choice out of
Mm.
um the courses that I was picking, and I was like, well, I'll do all of these before I do electrical. But we know how God works, mysterious ways. So so I ended up choosing the electrical, and I went through it took me about 2 days to complete the modules and whatnot, because I did get sleepy on the first day, but I was after work.
Sure.
So I took the time and I finished it, and I let her know that I completed all my stuff, and she told me that I was registered for the class. So that got me quite a bit excited. And I got everything situated with my job, and let them know that I was gonna take a bit of a hiatus, and try to focus my career in a different path for the moment. It gave me some time to grow as well for myself. And once the class started, it was a good group of guys. It was seven of us, I believe, that were there. The teacher, Mr. Fernando's, I actually loved working, around him. I wish I could have him for a teacher for more than just that week.
Mm-hmm.
If he had a business, I would have just asked him if he would have hired me, at the same time. Um, so they had the job fair at the end of the week, and I sat with, I believe, seven employers in all, and the last one was this nice lady named Miss Tammy, and she's actually my boss man's wife. And I've heard the story that she was sitting in for another one of the people. So she originally wasn't even going to be there, but she ended up just happening to be there. So we sat down and we chit chatted. And she said, "Well, I know this is an electrical class, but are you open to anything?" So I said, "Yeah, I'll learn anything. I'm down to just try something." She said, "All right, well, I'm gonna get you the job." And I was
Oh
like, "What?
wow.
You're gonna give me the job?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna tell my husband to hire you." I was like, "Can you do that?"
That's
And
how it
she was like,
works.
"Yeah, I can do it." Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, I can do it." I said, I'm sorry. You are the wife. You call the shots." Uh, so the weekend went by, and Monday, something just told me, pick my phone up. And I picked my phone up probably around about 9:30 that morning, and I gave him a call, and I let him know that, I didn't have any carpentry experience, but I do have helpful experience. Like, I'm willing to help anybody do anything, you know what I mean? And with that being said, that allows me to learn, and I'm
Yeah.
always willing to learn something. I learned a lot from my dad. Rest in peace. I lost my dad last October. So I
Mm.
asked God,
Yes.
make me more like my father,
Hmm.
you know?
Mm.
And I believe that this was my doorway to being more like my dad, because he was very hands-on. He wasn't a truck driver, but I watched him build anything from the ground up throughout my whole life.
Mm.
And this allows me the chance to be a handyman and a woodsman, like he was. And I'm enjoying this because I think about him a lot, and this just gives me that I don't know, it just gives me more like that chip on my
Mm.
shoulder, that like he's patting me the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, good job.
He's
You know what I mean? Like,
proud.
good job.
Yes.
Yeah, he's proud, and I feel that. Today I'm thinking about him quite a lot today, and like I said, I'm just really excited about this opportunity. And Wallace created this opportunity through Skills for Success. And I've tried to tell many people about this opportunity because this was totally free.
Mm-hmm.
That's what blows my mind about anything, because not only did I get a chance to learn a trade in electrical, I have an understanding of that now that I didn't have. I
Yep.
didn't have that, and not only that, that led me to the doorway to come into carpentry, and I've always liked measurements. I love angles and all that good stuff. I took drafting in school for a few years, so I've always had a thing for architecture. I love foundation. I
Okay.
believe on building on good soil. You know what I mean? I believe on building on strong foundation. We don't build houses on quicksand. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
this has just it's just been a blessing. This whole thing has been a blessing, and I just feel like anybody that's willing to try something, anybody that's willing to just step out on a ledge, and not even just jump, but just look over and see what you can see, because if you can see the bottom, you know what I mean? It's not that far down. You know what I mean? It's not that far. You can take a leap, and we might not need parachutes because we're carried on wings these days. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited for every day that I get to learn something new. And I've learned something new every day since I've been here. Every day.
How many days have you been on the job
This
with
this is my second week here, and it feels like I've been here for a few months. These
okay.
guys are a good crew.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. I'm kind of speechless. I feel like we have to obviously keep talking. We're on a podcast, but that is amazing.
Yeah,
I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't make this connection that you said that electrical was last on your list, but that
it
is
was
what was
last.
available. And then you get a job with a company that's
Yes,
for carpentry that was something that
yes,
you were interested before,
yeah,
but
yeah,
look what happened when you said yes, right? You just
yes.
said what happens when I jump. And
Yeah.
so I think that will speak to so many people in your world and in your circle and who you're working with, but also our listeners, that there is opportunity out there for something that you don't really know what it looks like right now when you say the yes, but just move your feet forward, right? And so thank you so much for sharing that.
You want to tell yourself yes, because no comes with fear, and we don't really get far with fear. It blocks our blessings, and it stops us from making the decisions that might actually change our life. And this gave me a chance because like I said, I saw it a time before, and it dawned on me. I was like, well, I told myself, well, I don't have time. You know, I work at night. I'm never gonna be able to do this. You know what I mean? And something just gave me that little push, man, just to try.
Yeah.
Just to see if I would get accepted. You know, and I did. I
Yeah.
did. I did get accepted. And from here, it just started rolling like a snowball. And now here I am getting to, chit chat about this. And uh I got so many messages from people online, that I've never met before, but they directly messaged me, because they
Wow.
actually, it's like
Wow.
because there's so much stuff online that everything's saturated, so you really can't tell what's real and what's not.
That's
Sure.
right.
And to me, it seems to me it's like people they would give me a message, and it would literally say, I'm seriously interested, can you tell me about your experience?
Mm,
And I didn't mind because if me telling you the truth will help you take a step forward, then by all means, God gave me time to chit chat with you, I'm going to use it, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And that's been my actual joy part to it, that I actually get to tell people the truth that, hey, this is real. You know, like I can vouch for this, and I'm a real person. Like I'm not computer generated.
No.
And so they get to hear it from the horse's mouth. Like, this is the water, this is the well that we get to drink from. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
yeah, that comes with what you said. It comes with a simple yes. I just said yes to myself, like, yes, I can try. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I am available for my dreams. You know what I mean? Because I want to be
Ooh.
available. I have to be there. I have to
Mm,
be present. So I'm excited, and I'm very thankful for what you guys have put together, because this has been tremendous to me. You know, it's awesome. I get to be a great dad, and I get to be more like my dad, who I felt like was great. You know?
I hear you, and
Wow.
I catch that. I catch your voice right there, and not to call you out, but my father passed many years ago, but I still live on the same
Yes, sir.
farm that he grew up on,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
his father grew up on it. So my son's actually the fifth generation, but there's not a day that goes by that I don't drive up the driveway and I look at the barns we built, or I touch the wire tensioner for like stretching barbed wire. Like my grandfather and my dad, maybe even my great grandfather, touched that same tensioner. It's old,
Man.
rusted, but like, there's not been a time when I don't hold that tool and think about them, and like think about the
Yes, sir.
conversations or the weather, or I remember
Yeah.
a fence. So we don't. I mean, who knows where these podcasts go? But like you
Yeah.
said, this gives me a chance to be a better dad, a more
Yes.
present dad, and be more like my father. So let's just dig into that for a minute. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but
That's cool.
you haven't been gone at night since then. So
Yeah.
talk about this. Talk about what saying yes to this opportunity has done for you and your relationships at home.
Man, this has allowed me to, like, I love to cook, you know. I had a food trailer that I did for 3.5 years, that I actually did because of my father.
Okay.
He had it in a building before, and he had got sick some years back. So down
Hmm.
the line, the Lord blessed me where I was able to rebuild his business that he had stationary, and I put it on wheels.
Yeah.
I called it Flames. Yes, sir. I sold hot wings, Philly cheesesteaks, chicken
Mm,
tenders, and fries,
mm,
and fish.
mm.
So I had a good time of working, and I built that trailer with my dad.
Yeah.
So I have so many memories of just working with him. And now that I'm in the daytime, I get to, I asked myself, even last night, it was 11:30 p.m., and I'm in there, I'm making handmade burgers, and I knew my son had already eaten, but I still made a really big, juicy burger. And I cut it in half, and he likes Doritos chips, so I put Dorito chips on the plate, and I just walk in and I hand him the plate, and I was like, "Hey, I made a burger. You want half of it?" But if I would have been gone at night, I wouldn't have gotten to do that. So I've just been enjoying feeding him. I've been
Hmm.
enjoying feeding him, just different things, cooking for him again. And, when he gets out of football practice and everything, I get to chit chat with him more. I'm not having to, pay attention to the traffic all night. And there's nothing wrong with driving. I love driving.
Hmm.
That's awesome. But I really do love spending time with him a lot more. And I only, if he goes off to school, I only got 3 more years left with him. You know
Good
what I mean?
Lord.
So I told him that I wanted to be able to spend more time with him. And I prayed to God about it. And I felt like these are the doors that got opened up that allowed me to be able to do that. Yeah, I've just enjoyed that. I've enjoyed my time with him.
Yeah. I don't know that we ever said when we created this years ago, we were like, hey, we're going to build some courses and whatever, let the colleges train people. And I don't know that we ever said that was what we're after, but that's what we were after.
That's what matters.
That's making life better. That's our slogan, make life better.
Made life
Oh
better.
my
Yeah.
gosh, man.
It's the little things,
You need to ask questions for a minute. I'm struggling over here.
Yeah, it's the little things. And I think, too, we talk a lot about seasons in people's lives and plans that we make that, we're human and we like to be in control of our lives, but sometimes that isn't what happens. And so, yes, maybe it was a chance that you were in the right place at the right time, or you saw an advertisement, and then you saw another advertisement, and there's a little tug of maybe I should pay attention to this. And obviously you've alluded that you're a man of faith, and so I think that right there, that push that you needed of confidence and let me just try this, and it worked out. And sometimes it doesn't always work out. However,
Right.
from what I see on this camera in this short conversation, that you have the confidence and the determination that it doesn't matter what's in front of you, you're going to make it work.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna make it work.
yes, and so that right there is what others need, that push too, like to hear you
Yes, ma'am.
say you can do it. And this course we talk too a lot about, we're just a little piece of the pie. There wasn't anything, miraculous that we have done by any means. And it's not just Houston, it's not me. We're 2 of 20 on a team that helped do this, but Wallace Dothan, that college that serves you and your friends and your family and your colleagues and your community, they are there to be a piece of that season of your life. And so thank
Yes, ma'am.
you for letting all of us be a part of your life. And I hope that moving forward, that you do share this opportunity, and that it is free, and that it is real, and that it does lead to a real job. And that right there is what our legislative body in the state of Alabama intended when they funded this program to build training for people to get a job, a better job, a higher paying job, a job that would allow you as a dad to cook a burger at 11:30 p.m. at night. And so like that right there, I mean, full circle story, and no one probably has that same story as you. And that is the unique part, that everybody has this opportunity, and it just depends on what you do with it, And so I just said a lot of words, and I said I was speechless, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I hope to, as you build those relationships with your employer, that they call Wallace and say, hey, I need more Rashaun Walkers. Like, where are they? I want to hire them. So who knows what that really looks like. But this story, your story, is a big deal. And I'll tell you this, and you met Sydney, and she's going to be the one that listens back to this episode, and she's amazing. But whenever she met you, she couldn't type fast enough to our team to say, hey, y'all, I met this guy, and this is his story, and we are going to do big things with this. And so
All right.
that right there, whatever joy or excitement that you were exuding just even during that lab, the buzz was going, right? Of like, hey, look at him. Hey, he's that guy right there. And so I think that is a testament to of who you are, but then also of what you're going to do and what you can do and what you will do. That's a big deal. So thank you.
All right. I thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I really do. I thank you very much.
Yeah. We've been moved quite a few times on this show, but today has been a really powerful day. Your story is phenomenal. Certainly it couldn't have happened without Wallace Dothan and Joe Johnson and his team being like, hey, can we try this? Can we put all this stuff together in this academy? And we'd been asking for the colleges to do something like that, and he picked it up and ran with it. And so his saying yes, his team saying yes to the tug to do something different. You're saying yes to okay, I see that flyer for the second time. I need something different. So, just watching all that happen is just blowing me away.
Also, I think you need to know, I'm sure they said it at the lab, but Joe Johnson, the director of workforce at Wallace State and Dothan, Wallace Community College in Dothan, he worked with the Home Builders Association in Dothan. And Miss Morella who is the president of that branch of the Home Builders Association, she said we have to have a job fair at the end of this academy.
Right.
My businesses are wanting to hire, and if we know that these individuals got this skill set from Wallace, I want my employers there at the table. So your now employer is a part of the Home Builders Association, and so that's how they even found out that
That's
there was
awesome.
a job fair opportunity, and they said yes to come be a part of that job fair. You said yes to taking the course. Joe was the glue that brought all of that together for the community. And so while they're just getting started on skills for success and
Yeah,
offering,
that's what he said.
there's so many more things too, at the college, that individuals that are looking for additional training and education. And we're not here to sell you on anything, but community knows that, hey, the local community college has a variety and many, many, many different opportunities available out there for lifestyles that look different, job, time, space, all the things. And so I think that your story is a testament to it doesn't look like the standard student, right? The 8 to 5 or the show up registered, all the things. Like it's truly those workforce skills. So
Yeah.
we're excited.
Rashaun,
Yes, ma'am.
where are you going to be? So we like to say we're almost out of time, and we could talk to you all day. I know I've got
Yes,
a
sir.
thousand
Yes,
questions.
sir.
Actually, I'm coming down to Dothan's first of next month to talk to Joe about all this. So we might
Okay.
catch up for dinner. Maybe you can cook me
All right.
something from a food truck.
That
But
sounds good.
so we like to say, hey, in 5 years, it's Friday afternoon. You've worked all week, and you're feeling good about life. What are you going to toast to in 5 years for yourself, your family?
Well, uh, well, next month, I will be bringing in my new baby girl into the world on September 25th.
Congratulations.
Yes, yes. So, 5 years, I'm pretty sure I will be toasting to kindergarten.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
okay.
right.
You
All right.
will.
But at the same time, I know I will toast to my dad, uh, Hubert John Davis Jr., because I wouldn't be where I am today. And he taught me literally everything that I know. I mean, the goods, the bads, the what to do, the what not to do. You know,
Yeah.
I'm, I'm, I'm I'm trying my hardest to be as big as the person that he
Yeah.
was. And weight wise, he was, a couple 100 pounds more than me, so physically I'll never reach that weight, but the drive and tenacity that I saw throughout my whole life, I aim to achieve. And not that I'm ever going to try to surpass my father in any way, but I hope that I get to do it as big as he saw that I could.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna toast to that. Yes, sir.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And I commend it. Seeing both ends of your life spectrum and appreciating both. That new baby girl, she won't be so new then.
Yes, sir.
But she'll be full
Yes,
of it.
sir.
And
Yes,
your
sir.
father, man, never forgetting your father like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on your experience with Wallace Dothan and the Home Builder Academy and your journey.
To anybody that's just willing, to succeed, and we don't want to define success by what materials that we have in life because they come and go. Um, but uh, let's find success in, like you said, ma'am, like let's find success in the small things. Getting up in the mornings, let's see if we can maybe find time to cook an egg. Let's maybe see if we can find time to make a sandwich. Did they leave hungry? Did they leave full? Or and speaking of kids, but if
Yeah.
you don't have kids, did you feed yourself? Did you give yourself 5 minutes to do maybe 10 push-ups? You know what I mean? Like, or did you find some time just to take a break and meditate just for a second. Find success from within so you can shine without. And
So
I'm
good.
just I'm just excited to see what happens next.
Mhm.
And I feel like that I try to tell anybody that we shouldn't be afraid of the unknown because that's where, our great Lord does his most awesome work, because those things that show up, you know, I look for those moments. I live for those moments where things just happen because they happen so much more than my hands can hold. And speaking of holding, this is my father's level,
Oh,
and now it's
No.
mine.
No way.
Yeah, it's mine now.
that's
So
That's
awesome.
I hope
powerful.
so I hope that he helps me level my life out. And even when I have to go up a hill, I'll make sure that I stay straight.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm not worried.
Maybe
I'm not
you
worried.
need your own motivational show.
Yeah.
My goodness.
You are full of like
Love that.
wisdom and encouragement. I love
I'm
it.
gonna keep trying, boss man and
Yeah.
ma'am, like I said. But I thank y'all because y'all have really helped me find a new version of myself.
Mm.
This
Mm.
program has really helped unlock the door that I didn't even know was there.
Yeah.
And I'm truly thankful for that, and I won't ever not be.
Well, Rashaun, we are thankful for you and the story you've
Yes.
given us today. It's even
Yeah.
more amazing than I anticipated. So we are short on time. This won't be the last time we talk. That's for sure. I think your story will reach out to far, far beyond what you imagine and
Yeah.
impact a lot of
Like,
folks,
yeah.
man. So good stuff. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being with us today.
Yeah. Just hey, shout out to everyone trying, and shout out to my three kids as well. I have two girls with my son. So I wish everybody the best, and
Yeah.
I wish y'all the best every day. Yeah, every day I wish y'all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
too.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. That is another episode of Innovation Unplugged. Thanks for tuning in. And please go like, subscribe, and follow on all your podcast platforms. Have a great day.